So moments ago, Baltimore's mayor announcing a partnership with the Justice Department for the purpose of reforming, she says, the city's police department. This follows the charges to 6 police officers who you see pictured here in the death of Freddie Gray. Freddie Gray suffered fatal injuries while he was in their custody. So here is the mayor, Stephanie Rawlings Blake, talking about this just moments ago.
I'm asking the Department of Justice to investigate if our police department has engaged in a pattern or practice of stops, searches, or arrests that violate the Fourth Amendment. I am asking that they investigate what systemic changes exist within our, challenges exist within our police department that can contribute to excessive force and discriminatory policing. At the end of this process, I will hold those accountable if change is not made.
Judge Andrew Napolitano, Fox News senior judicial analyst. I mean, this case is far from even begun yet. But the Department of Justice of the United States of America is being brought in to potentially retrain the police officers in Baltimore.
Well, it's a bit of a head scratcher as to why she wants to do that now when there's a criminal investigation, one in which there's an allegation of murder, very rare, against one of her own police officers. So she's basically saying, I want the Justice Department to investigate not the circumstances of Mr. Gray's death, which they probably already are investigating, but the big picture. Look at all the statistics of all of our arrests, compare them racially, evaluate the force that was used, see if there's some kind of a pattern there. This will be a similar investigation. If the DOJ does this, it's very costly for them to do. If the DOJ does this, it will be similar to the investigation we saw for Ferguson, Missouri. That produced, I'm showing my fingers about 5 inches apart, 2 loose leaves about 5 inches thick.
That they won't do it. They were enthusiastic participants in doing it in Ferguson, so they'll probably do it in Baltimore as well.
They have a team that does this, and they usually do it against the will of the local authorities. Here we have the chief executive officer of the city saying, please come in and do this for us. We know we need change, and we're going to be guided by your advice.
Yeah. All right, questions about whether or not that's prudent given where the stage of this investigation, although there has been, exhaustive pieces written on some other incidents that happened in Baltimore that maybe they want to dig into. That aside for the moment, I want to get into the legal situation that is emerging with the 6 who are charged.
Right.
And one of the attorneys for one of these police officers wants to examine the knife that was in Freddie Gray's waistband. Where does that lead us?
Well, first, he has every right to examine the knife because he needs to know what kind of a knife it was. Under Maryland law, a penknife and a switchblade are lawful, providing you have to open them manually. If you can open them with the flick of a wrist, a traditional switchblade, or if you can open it with the press of a button, also a traditional switchblade, they are unlawful outside the home. But that does not get us to where he wants to go. He wants to be able to argue that because the blade was unlawful, he suspects it was, he's going by his client's recollection of what the knife looked like.
Although the state's attorney said that she examined the evidence and that it was a legal switchblade.
She's going to have to produce that knife so that we can make a determination if it's lawful. He wants to argue that because the knife was unlawful, the arrest was lawful. He has the cart before the horse. The fact that after an illegal arrest you find some contraband on someone does not reframe the arrest and make it legal. The arrest has to be legal from minute one. So the question is, did they see the knife? Did they have a report of the knife? Did they have reason to believe the knife was there when they chased him? We haven't even seen a police report. We don't even know their version of the 6 of them of why they chased him. They may have some knowledge of his behavior which would make that arrest lawful, or they may not have any knowledge of the behavior that would make the arrest lawful. But if they find something on him after they arrested him and the arrest was unlawful, that thing that they find doesn't change the arrest.
They would have had to have seen it. Or perhaps believe that they were threatened by it in some way.
Probable cause to believe that it was there is the phrase.
Judge, thank you very much.
You're
welcome. It's going to be quite a case to watch this unfold.
I think a lot more is coming.